Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's me, Antonio, back with another video today for the family, out and about. Oh look, my family's already out walking somewhere. Could have all caught an Uber. But yeah man, again, Antonio, he who is highly praised, I love my name. I'd hate to be a person that doesn't love their name. So many compliments. Even the Latinas say, "Oh my God, your name is so masculine. You know what your name means in our country?" Yeah, I researched these things as a teenager. See, we can have a conversation and dialogue and I can surprise people. We all have our books, we all have our covers. Yeah. Just, again, I've spoken to so many people in customer service, not only a million women, but a million men as well. So I get to see and speak to all types of people from across the world, across the country, Hawaii, all these different places, Canada. You even see some people in other countries and try to order American products. That's when you really get to see how money works and the politics of things. And it's like you would never guess to think that McDonald's, because I like to use McDonald's as a scapegoat. I don't like bringing up names, but they make so much money off the backs and deaths of the people that it's owed. But places like that. I mean, I might bring it back up, but I'm gonna get off the McDonald's rant. But yeah, for the most part, you don't really know people until you take the time to get to know them. Again, it's an investment. People, again, have to start being aware that your time is your currency. It's just the same way people display different emotions and things like that. These are the things that make people more valuable, whether you're a leader or you're an adequate follower. Perception and perspective is, again, putting things at face value. Everyone wants to reach for the trophy. One person's perspective of an alpha could be a different person's perspective of a beta. But while everyone is fighting for titles and algorithms and categories, you have someone that's looking on the chessboard and seeing all this stuff play out and creating his own definitions. The super alpha. And that's just me cracking a joke. We have women are able to blurt out things that they can't even explain half the time. Emotional security and things like this, but they can't even explain them themselves. That's not to take a jab at them, you can't explain. That's why we're not gonna have. Who would you choose, a porn star or me, to run this country? But that's just, again, my observation of people wanting to assume things about people, Again, we talked to people on the phone in the 90s and their voice, again, sounded different from when you talk to a person in person. Or even, again, watching someone on a video or a YouTube video and seeing that person in real life. I've always been a very divinely masculine man, just like my father before me, again, Hate to bring up old references and things like that. And that's what being a man is, creating your own legacy. And stop stealing other people's content or bringing up other men's names that you're not trying to come to the table and build something with. People are just clout chasing, jumping on the next reaction video or whatever the case may be. I like expansive ideas. As a man, I know it's something that men not used to. You can't think properly, so you bash another man and say, oh, he's a beta or he's a simp or whatever the case may be. No one has came out directly and said this to my face. And there's a lot of people out there that poke fingers in other men's face and they won't say any of those things in those men's faces, or even in women. Most of these men can't debate women. Again, it's a I mean, wisdom come from ancient goddess of wisdom, Athena. I can't have a conversation with a regular man or woman about who Athena, an ancient Greek goddess that's actually based off of ancient African practices. You can't even start to dialogue and make those comparisons and tell people where the real power and the real knowledge come from. Let me let y'all see. I'm so considerate as a man. I'll let you get a view of this nice water on a nice sunny day. Most women are not even considerate enough to open the door for a man, but they out here walking in their masculinity. And guess what? It happens to me every so often. A woman will open the door for me, being in masculine frame, with a suit and tie on, or whatever the case may be, sagging my pants on, or however I feel like dressing that day. Now it's because I'm having a second thought. Like, I know I grew up. Men have to understand, you have a certain power. You grow up, there shouldn't be any like, the people have their little conflicting thoughts. Thank God I've never been that type of person. Just had style, just had class, just had finesse. Don't rappers have style? There's rappers out there that dress weirder than this. I won't call their names, from New York, which claims to be the hardest place in America. You got one of the greatest horror stories in history, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, but they named it after a freaking love poem. So yes, I can be masculine. I'll never know what it feels like to be feminine or a woman. Not trying to. But you know, before anyone start asking questions and getting too disrespectful, you know, I just like to make these things known. My foresight leads me to know that you just gotta clarify things for people sometimes, man. You can't hold up where I hold up. Certain people can't hold up to where you hold up. I'll never be able to have a child. I would never think of implanting a dead fetus into myself. Women shouldn't be trying to get all these different butt injections and all these other different things. You know, what are you really built of? What are you really made of? What are you really proud of for yourself? At the end of the day, it all comes back down to legacy. I don't know why there's such a big gender divide in regards to love, money, finance, and trust, and all these things like that. Men want a legacy. Women want a legacy. However or wherever that switch flips off of in your head, you got to be able to use discernment and make the decisions that you need to make for yourself and the people around you. It's not just a simple comparison. We could take a whole culture, a whole generation of people. If we come in contact with the people of 1921, I'm pretty sure they'll look at us like weirdos. That's perspective for your ass. We can even go back 50 years. Why women don't take over their hair care industry? Why am I gonna start getting into topical elixirs? Because everyone was so fascinated with their afros 50 years ago that y'all let the Asians come in and take over everything. Does it sound better when I sound like a girl, or does it sound, or I sound effeminate and emotional, or does it sound better when I sound like a man? I need to learn the art of war. Again, you see the Asian feng shui and Chinese teachers, they're not arrogant warlords. Go watch Kill Bill, or at least part 2, when they sent her to her master that lived up in the hills somewhere, not bothering anyone, eating his fish heads. Chick poisoned him. He's sitting up there in all white, chilling, enlightened. You know, he trained all of Bill's, I guess, teammates, which, you know, the blondie ended up running through. But that's how you got to think about it, man. Sometimes it's like, there's not always a path that you have to take just because someone put that path there for you. I mean, that's all you can take or conquer at that time. And you conquer from within. You conquer yourself. You make a conscious decision and know that you'll never let at least your own thoughts defeat your purpose. So, you know, again, you know, all of these attachments, people are so attached to their identity. Know who you are at the end of the day. That's the most important thing. And people that's going to rap with you is the people that's going to rap with you. And that's what marketing comes from. That's where advertisement comes from. And that's where making things appealing for people to seek after or whatever, or to be sought after. This is why female love likes on social media. I don't like likes. I just had to do my little, it didn't take that long, less than 24-hour experiment. Never posted any superficial nudity on my page. I even got banned a couple months ago from Facebook for trying to teach people. But I post this butt pic. It got more views and more likes than I ever got on the whole 15 years of me being on Facebook. The psychology of the mind was a freaking picture I found off of internet. But because y'all see a freaking canvas on my background, you probably think I'm some promiscuous dude sleeping around. I stay the heck away from y'all. Take that. Women want to get so close that they can't touch you though. Men want to be so cool with you, but they so fake and so competitive all the time. It's cool to do that. That's why it's a season, an NBA season, an NFL season. You got to grow, man. You got to learn. You can't always be the leader sometimes, the conqueror. You got to be able to tell your daughter a bedtime story without getting all rough and rugged and sounding like Ja Rule and DMX. Now, I'm pretty sure your lady don't want her yelling and arguing at you like I'm arguing and yelling at this phone right now. Well, not really. It's just, I'm out in public, so I have to be louder, and my passion is fired up right now. Fresh new pair of headphones that I don't need. But that's that Aries in me, fire sign. Ruled by Libra, my sun sign. So it's gonna come off in a poetic, sort of way. I was gonna say a whole bunch of other things. Police is all staring at me. Guess I'm not supposed to be walking on the side of this river, right? Catch the lizard. See, this is what I do. When I get sick and tired of watching these videos of these fake vloggers, these fake protests, I come outside, get some fresh air. These are things I learned growing up as a young man. Before I was even 16 years old, I went to the arcade for 6 hours out of the day, and I would wonder why I was getting a headache or why I was feeling tired or lethargic. You're sitting in a friggin' closed off room all day with whatever arcade it is or whatever Disney World attraction it is. And you're sitting around all these electromagnetic waves and frequencies all day long, all this radiation and this frying. You slowly over time, along with all this bread that we eat and all this carbs, all this sugar, people have the nerve to talk back to you behind their keyboard but haven't even taken the time to go for a 15-minute walk or get out of bed and do 15 squats or 15 push-ups. Most of these people can't hold up, and they'll show their true faces when the time comes, when judgment comes. And, what more can I really say about that other than I'm walking on sunshine right now? Y'all better be careful. The righteous ones, you know who you are. But the ones that's here for the bullshit, you will be rooted out in time. Again, don't think you can hide. And we just gonna keep flowing, man. Some of us are gonna be gone as time goes on. There'll be those that still remain, our opposers that like to tarnish our reputation as soon as we die. We have these so-called, I don't want to bring up race, but you got all these people from different religious creeds, races, and colors. If you are not able to come together under one flag, we don't have to use symbolism so much. It's just being a decent human being. Why do I have to display my manliness? Half the time when we look at these sci-fi movies and we look at these flicks, even when we look in the Bible, the angels were androgynous, so-called. Women loved Prince in the 80s. All that good stuff. Not even to bash women. We had the whole Amazon and Amazoness era. That's where all that whole religion and mythology comes from. Women ruling the world. Again, it takes someone like me to come out and explain these things. And it's not, oh, I'm gonna pop out my masculine or pop out my femininity anytime I want to, because not a lot of people can do that. I'm an enlightened personality. No matter how you wanna look and view me as a person, right now I'm free. I'm not stuck on some hamster wheel behind some editor's keyboard for the next 5 hours. I'm not deep in the game like that. Sometimes I express I have myself in too many things, my hand in too many things, whether it's investing or, you know, trying to build my online social media presence, you know, giving consultations and things like that. I am accredited, I do have degrees. I don't know why these people think they could just say stuff and not catch a return to sender spell. I know, it's something like this we never seen in the black community before. We all made fun of Cleo, or whatever her name was. Yeah, I remember seeing the commercial growing up. But we letting all these other cultures and all these other religions, you know, pretty much build the world off our ideals and our intelligence. And even our free labor sometimes when we get stuck in jail. You know, we have a whole, you know, when it comes to anime and all these different things, often the black character is always the most OP, right? Even with just finishing up, you know, a lot of these TV shows and things like that. You know, all of a sudden Captain America's black. You know, Loki. We have the new MCU phase coming up. Interestingly enough, it shares the same initials as my company, Morningstar. Yes, sir. But yeah, man, these characters like Kang turned out to be a black guy and all these things. I've seen these things happen over the years, slowly over time. They made a documentary about it about a half a decade ago called The Tanning of America. Slowly, it's like sitting out in the sun pretty much. As people migrate into this country, white people pretty much go away. I mean, their DNA is still with us. We still have the knowledge and the wisdom that they brought, and we still have the knowledge and the wisdom that black people bring, and we still have the knowledge and the wisdom. It shouldn't just be America. Before all these 7 or 33 continents, there was Pangea, and there's more continents than that. We have so much water on this planet, we don't know what's under the water. That's why everyone wants to come here. There's an abundance of duality, of balance here. Yeah, we got our hurricanes, our wind, and all that stuff. We got our vast oceans, which pretty much create life. You know, we have our fire seasons that burn out all stuff to make way for new creation. We have the earth and things like that. You know, go to the beach and play frisbee with your toes in the sand, ground yourself, all that good stuff. Cover so much in one video, huh? And I don't want to be arrogant or rude, but I haven't met too many people in my life. I would like to have friends to help me become a better person. But I'd rather take this journey alone. You know, reach out and help every chance I get. Similar to the angels that were not supposed to come down to the earth plane, and they came down anyway and partook. Not claiming these, but just reminding people of these mythologies and these legends and these things that they need clarity about when they spew about them. Or, you know, they just want to have a basic back and forth conversation about masculinity, divinity, femininity. You know, there were male caretakers. Noah, and even in some aspects, Adam himself, which was pretty much created after the creator himself, so he is the creator within us. He was the first gardener. He was the one that had to tend to the garden, plant stuff. When him and Eve had kids, he had to take care of the kids. I'm pretty sure there's so many different cooking shows that you can find online. Grandpa Kitchen, man, cooks for a whole friggin' village of people outside in nature, still get the job done. So you have men that done these things. Again, you've had women generals and women warriors that wouldn't let, I don't know if it's feminism, not letting men onto certain islands and tropical regions and things like that, where women thrived. The heat, the inertia let their breasts grow larger, their hips grow wider, and things like that. They held on to, this is why people overeat. We were naturally Moors or whatever the case may be, travelers or martyrs, our bodies originally tamed a lot of fat because we were traveling a lot. Somebody get into that conversation. But I'm gonna get me some lunch. I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Be safe.